Earlier this hour, we show you these live pictures of a naval C-2 plane which made an emergency landing in Norfolk, Virginia after its landing gear failed. We're joined right now by retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Rick Francona, who's an NBC News military analyst. Colonel Francona, how do you explain this little event we just watched? Pretty scary.
Well, he's coming in without his gear down, so obviously he's had some trouble with that, but the pilot does a great job here, puts it down safely, and as I know you were watching it live, we were very concerned about, of course, that catching on fire. And you'll notice the crew will be coming out here very quickly now. This aircraft carries quite a few people. It's a transport aircraft used to move high-priority cargo, mail, and people to and from the carriers. This is called a COD, Carrier Onboard Delivery. So it's got that hook there that is used to bring it down on a carrier. That's why you see it using the restraining gear there. So
they were lucky that it was that type of plane.
So he didn't have to slide down the runway very far.
So that was lucky that we had a plane equipped for carrier landing.
Yeah, and most airfields, military airfields, are equipped with these restraining cables. And if the aircraft has a hook, you can slow it down much faster, expose the crew to much less danger. This was a textbook way to land this in an emergency.
Let me ask you about the procedures for landing an emergency with regard to a belly landing. You see it in the movies. We've heard about it all our life. But in terms of the pilot, how extreme does the situation have to get? Does he have to be out of fuel? Has he completely given up on his landing gear?
Well, I don't know what the Navy requirements are for this, but evidently, the pilot has the final call on that. His option would have been to, if they had enough emergency parachutes on board, he could have had the passengers and crew jump out, and he could have landed himself. But in this case, he chose to make it in. I get the assumption he was pretty certain he could make this landing safely.
So this fella's in for a medal. What do you think?
Oh,
pretty good landing. Looked great as an amateur watching it.
He's going to get a few beers at the club tonight.
Colonel Francona, anything else we should know about this? We were just lucky, I guess, to catch this tricky situation on camera.
Yeah, I mean, it shows the skill of this naval aviator here. He did a great job. I mean, these aircraft have a tremendous safety record. They're used in very brutal conditions, slamming these things down on aircraft carriers all the time. It's a solid airframe, and the guy just did a great job.
Is this going to be Colonel Francona, is this going to be a training film now?
It could be. It could be. It's picture perfect, and we were lucky to get it on tape.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us, Lieutenant Colonel Rick Francona.